This is a real show with real people talking about real issues with a real attorney. Now it's time to lawyer up. Welcome to Lawyer Up. We're back today. We have Miss Tawanda Wilkins. How you doing, Miss Wilkins?
I'm great. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I've been wide open. And we're talking today about the American dream. So many people want to buy a house. They want to own their own home. They feel like they had a piece of the American dream. And a lot of people don't know where to start when they go buy a house. I mean, they get out of school and they've been renting forever or been staying with their mom and daddy forever. Mm-hmm. And some folks still stay with their mom and daddy when they're trying to buy a house. Kind of. Where should we start? What should we do when it's time to go and jump out there for the American dream and buy a house?
The first step, you should contact a lender, meaning a bank, credit union, or a mortgage broker, to find out whether or not you're qualified to purchase a home. That's your first step. You don't want to waste your time.
If you can't afford it, if you're out there.
That's exactly right. And you don't want to waste your time looking for a house and then come to find out when you find the house of your dream, you can't get it because you don't qualify for that amount.
I mean, you out there trying to buy a house for like $500,000, you be like, "Wait, this is a nice house."
And you only qualify for $200,000.
And we done wasted a whole lot of time.
Wasted time.
Now I still want to go see some of them houses just to kind of make me dream a little bit. But if you first of all find the house you can afford.
Find the one you can afford before you start window shopping.
Okay. But after you do that, after you find out kind of where you're pre-approved and how much money you're approved for, what's the next thing?
Your next thing, you should contact a real estate broker or a real estate agent, and so they can assist you with finding a property that best suits your need.
Let me ask you this. The real estate agent and real estate broker, I heard that term a lot. I mean, you have the broker, your agent. What's the major difference between, is there a difference between a real estate agent and a real estate broker?
No, the agent and broker are the same. But when you become a realtor, that's when you join the National Association of Realtors, and, they give you that realtor part that's an extra.
Okay. Yeah. But the purpose is pretty much
the same to assist buyers and sellers.
Now, now you said that after you find out how much you're approved for, the next thing you do is find a broker or a realtor. My question for you is, what types of things should we look for when we're trying to decide who's going to be our real estate agent or our real estate broker or our realtor? What type of things do we look for? I mean, you just get on the phone and say, "Hey, anybody do real estate?"
No, I recommend you interview your realtors when you call them. Just make sure that they're a good fit for you. That they're willing to work with you. Sometimes you call realtors, they may not have the time. They'll put you off on somebody else in the office because they're so busy. So you just have to make sure that they're the one for you. Whether or not your personalities match up.
So I need 5 things that we should look for when we're trying to decide who's going to be our real estate agent. Give me 5 things that you want to kind of consider.
I would say time. Make sure that the real estate agent has the time to work with you.
Well, I definitely know about not having time.
Because trying to find properties, it takes time.
Yeah.
I would say experience. You want to make sure that the realtor is experienced. I would say personality, making sure that you're not crazy and she's not crazy or he. So, make sure that the personalities, click. I would say make sure that the person is familiar with the area, know the market. And then just find out whether or not the person wants to work with you. I mean, as an agent, the agent may not want to work with the potential buyer.
Okay, well, that's a very big thing because sometimes they might think that you're not really serious or they don't want to work with you for other reasons.
Yes.
So that's the 5 things you say. You want to make sure the person has the time to work with you, that the person is experienced, that y'all personalities actually work together. And the next thing you said is to make sure they actually know the area. They might be a very excellent real estate agent, but if they from Chicago, you're trying to buy a house in North Carolina, y'all might not be on the same page. And the last thing is to make sure y'all want to work together. I mean, they want to work with you and you want to work with them. So this is what I want to do. We're getting ready to go on a break, but once we get back, I want you to actually walk me through the whole home buying process. The first thing you told us to do, we got to get a mortgage lender or somebody help us to be a lender, find what we're pre-qualified for. Then we pick our broker or our real estate agent, and then after that, I want you to walk me through the next steps to buy the house. But look, we'll be right back, y'all, with more Lawyer Up.
19 beats, mother.
Yes, I enjoy this.
Being a parent is never easy. Sometimes even the best of us can get overwhelmed. When difficult situations occur in your family, the Power of You is here to help. Our dedicated and trained clinicians stand ready to offer the support that you and your family need. The agency offers substance abuse prevention services, which include evidence-based programs to delay the onset of use of alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. Multisystemic therapy is specific to children between the ages of 12 and 18 that experience serious behavioral issues. Child-Parent Partners is for families with children between the ages of 0 and 6 that have experienced trauma. The Power of You is a nonprofit organization dedicated to uplifting communities one child at a time. If you or someone you know are in need of mental health services, feel free to reach us at 252-551-5544 or visit us confidentially on the web, www.powerofyou.com.
We're back right here on Lawyer Up, and we have Miss Tawanda Wilkins here, and we're talking about buying houses. Now look, we've already been pre-qualified, all right?
Okay.
The banks told us how much money they're going to give us. The lenders told us how much money we can afford. We've picked you as our real estate agent.
Okay.
So what is the next step? What do we do now to actually fulfill our American dream and buy our house?
Well, now that you know how much you can afford,
Okay.
we're going to look into multiple listing service, the MLS,
Okay.
to find out what type of house you're looking for.
Let me ask you this. Now, this MLS thing you're talking about, the multiple listing service, can I, like, go hire you as my real estate agent? But I'm not really sure I want to live at. Like, I want to live right here in Greenville. My wife want to live in Raleigh, but she also thinks about going to Charlotte. Can I hire you to look at the house like everywhere we go, or is it how does that work?
Well, right now, I'm only a member of the Greenville Pitt multiple listing service, but we do referrals in Raleigh or Charlotte because we're not a member of the multiple listing service there.
Okay.
So we could refer you to someone there, another broker, that could take care of you if you're looking outside of the Greenville Pitt.
So, but if I like the person, so it's best to probably find someone, like you said, that's going to be a member of the whatever local area you're
Yes.
talking about, the Greenville Pit, multiple listing
Yes.
services. All right, so
And there are some properties in the multiple listing service here in Greenville that, could be in Raleigh or could be in Rocky Mount.
Okay.
Could be, some people, list their properties. They're members of, different MLSs. So,
okay.
yeah.
So after we started looking at houses, what's the next thing we do from there?
After you start looking at your houses, we go out, you find one that you're interested in.
Okay.
That's the one that you just have to have. You feel comfortable that, this is it.
This is my
the
baby. This is the one.
When you drive up in the driveway,
It
it feels like
smell
home.
good, it
When you
feel
walk
good.
in, that's right. It feels like home.
I remember that.
Okay.
Quick aside, y'all. I'm talking. This is kind of personal, y'all, because this happened about 4-5 years ago when she actually helped me buy my first home. Me and my beautiful wife, my wife Wendy, and I'm gonna tell the story because that's why
Yes.
it's my show. I can do that.
That's
we walked into the house the first time. We had 2 houses that we narrowed this thing down into, and Wendy, when we got back in our bed, and she's like, "I want that house, baby." I'm like, "Baby, this at the top." It's at the top of the price range, and Wendy and her got together, and they're like, "He gonna get this house. Why she gonna get this house?" And we finally got the house on her birthday. But anyway,
That's right.
on
Sure
her
did.
birthday, March 4th, on her birthday.
It sure
So
did.
after you know that's your house, that's the one you want.
Yes.
What is the next step after you get that? This is it. What's next?
Once you get that, and you know that that's it,
Right.
we'll do the offer to purchase.
Okay.
We'll submit that with your earnest money deposit.
Now what's this? All right, slow me down.
Okay.
You make an offer to purchase, and then
Yes.
you pay money before you bought the house. What's that?
You have to let the sellers know that you're really serious about buying this house, because you have to think about it. They're going to take their house off the market for a little while for you to decide whether or not you want to buy this house. So you have to put some money down to let them know that, you're serious about it when you put in your
Is
offer.
that earnest money the same thing as a down payment, or is that?
No, that's
okay.
different. That's different.
Okay,
The-
so now say let's use small. I'm gonna buy a house that's $100,000. So now I gotta put down for $100,000 house. I gotta put down like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000.
1,000, and I mean it's negotiable the
Okay.
amount.
Just something
something
you can feel.
exactly, and that money will be credited back. Excuse me, it'll be credited back to you at closing, so it's not like you're losing it.
Let me ask you this though. Say I get him I said, look, I want to buy this house. It's $100,000. I'm gonna give you $500 right now. Hit my offer. I want you to give me this house for $100,000. Do they keep that money if they say no?
No,
Okay, so I
no,
get,
you get your money
Woo!
back.
But say I'm get my-
You get your money
but
back.
say I'm
You
making an
put-
offer on a house, I can't get my money back.
Yes,
That's-
your money will be returned
so
to
you
you.
get your
if-
money back. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yes.
and that money also is also going to be, you said, used
At closing.
at closing.
Yes.
Okay, so I made my offer on the house, $100,000. They said, I think I don't want $100,000. I ain't really cool with that. What's next after that part?
Well, then we get into the negotiation where, we'll negotiate the price, or, we'll go back and forth until we can come to an agreement.
Now, what part do I play, and what part do you play when we start talking about that negotiation back and forth? Because I'm like, look, the bank told me they're gonna give me $104,000. I'm not paying more than $104,000. What I gotta do? That's all I got. What part do you play when I tell you how much I'm pre-qualified for, and what do you do versus what do I do? Kind of where do I stand when we get ready to negotiate this process?
Well, I'm going to be your negotiator. You're
Okay.
going to tell me what you're willing to pay, what your max is.
Okay.
I'm going to go back and forth to the other real estate agent that's representing the sellers.
Okay.
And we're going to go back and forth until we can come to an agreement. And my thing is to get you the best price.
Okay.
So we'll go back and forth until we do that.
Okay, so we go back and forth,
Yes.
and we got a deal. We're selling this house. We're buying this house at $101,000.55. That's what the house is for. So what we do after after the deal is struck, we sell it and we buy the
Okay,
house.
now that we have a contract, because we've come to an agreement.
Okay.
Okay, so now you're going to start lining up your inspections. You want to
Okay.
make sure that the house, is in good shape.
Who paid for that? We got to pay for that too.
As a buyer, you will pay for that.
Oh boy.
Okay.
The American
Unless-
dream is expensive, y'all.
Unless you have a really good realtor and they negotiate all of that into the contract where, the sellers will pay your closing,
I'm about
which
to say, 'cause I
includes...
don't think I paid for all that stuff
You
myself.
didn't, because
Okay,
you're,
sure.
because you have a really good realtor
And
that
I'm-
worked that all into your contract.
Good, 'cause you know I'm cheap. I'm cheap.
Yes, where your inspections were paid for because the sellers paid for your closing.
Right. Okay.
So, and that's included in, and then you would get a termite inspection, make sure the house doesn't have termite.
Right.
So all of that's included in your closing.
Okay.
Okay, then you select your attorney for closing.
Okay.
The attorney, and they'll start working on the title search, make sure that the property, doesn't have any liens, because you don't want to, take
buy-
on somebody else's liens.
Buy the house and you can't even
and
get
can't
it
even
out.
get in it. That's
Okay.
right. So,
Alright.
and
So after that, so we went through the whole process. We get ready. The attorney's already done his paperwork. What's the last? Is there anything else we do after that, or?
well, once the attorney has done everything, the title work is clean, inspections are back, everything looks good. And if for some reason you do find a problem with the house, then that's negotiable as far as the repairs. We would submit that to the sellers, and they can either, opt to fix the repairs or not. They don't have to. It's negotiable.
Okay.
And during that time, what I failed to mention, you can pay some money down. It's called due diligence,
Okay.
where you put money down to give you time to do these inspections to make sure that everything is okay with the house, other than the earnest money.
Is that extra money? Is that like
That's extra.
Is that like do I get that back?
That goes directly to the sellers.
I gotta
Okay.
I gotta get my money back.
And
Everything I spend, I'm getting it back.
It'll show on the HUD at closing that they received $1, $2, $3, $4, $500, whatever it is,
Right.
whatever you agree on.
Everything coming back. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but that check would be written directly to the sellers.
Okay.
The earnest money is yours, and it'd be credited back to you at the
Okay.
end.
Okay.
So, but now that you've done all of that, we're at closing. You sign all this paperwork. You get your keys, and now you're in your new home.
Oh, that's the American dream. Look, before we go on break, this is what I want you to be thinking about. We're getting ready to go on break now, but I want to know, it don't have to be a horror story. Well, yeah, dude. I want to hear a horror story or something that you definitely do not need to do when you get ready to go buy a house. It can either be a personal experience, a story that you heard, someone you know, some of the things that you make sure you do not do. And we're gonna talk about that when we get back, y'all, with more Lawyer Up.
All the evidence is in, and now it's time for the final arguments of the lawyers. When I hear those words, I feel like a baseball player in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs, and I'm up to bat. When I hear those words, I feel like a basketball player with 3 seconds on the clock and the game is on the line. When I hear those words, I feel like a quarterback in the 4th quarter on a game-winning drive, 2 minutes left to go. When I hear those words, I feel like I'm in a championship fight. I need a knockout to win. When I hear those words, there's one thought that goes in my mind. There's one thought that plays over and over again. There's one phrase that I continuously hear. And that phrase is, let's go to work.
TaylorMade Publishing is a full-service book publishing company that has its own imprint and specializes in children's, Christian, and nonfiction books. We also offer self-publishing services and enjoy assisting authors move their completed manuscripts to print. Our services include editing, layout, cover design, ISBN, and obtaining copyright. We encourage you to visit our website at www.taylormadenc.com.
We're back right here on Lawyer Up. We have Miss Tawanda Wilkins, and we're talking about some things that you definitely shouldn't do when buying a house. Now look, you can give me a real story. You can talk about something that you heard, something that you experienced, but let me know and let the viewers know some things they should definitely not do when it's time to buy a house.
This is what I would say to everyone. After you've gone to your lender and
Okay.
they have pre-qualified you, pre-approved you for your mortgage, please do not go out and buy a car, buy furniture, Because when the lender pre-qualified you, they did it based off your debt to income ratio as of that day.
Okay.
So if you go out and purchase a large item or anything, car, anything, then that throws your ratios out, out of whack, because it's based on what your actual income is and your debt is.
So we could be in a situation where, because we wanted to buy furniture for the house that we just got approved for, we done went and I done saw this sectional, I done saw this nice sofa, and I got to have the TV to go above the mantle, because you can't have a TV that's small. You gotta have a big one. So I can't buy so what I'm gonna do is go in the house without my stuff?
You can buy it. You're gonna have a TV in a sectional and no mouse because don't do it. So that it has happened. It has happened. Yes, it has happened. So many times.
What happens? So you get in a situation where your credit
your lender is gonna pull your credit again. They pull it in the beginning to pre-qualify you, and then they pull it again like a few days before closing, just to make sure that everything is still the same.
You mean the deal has already been closed? We already got everything set. The price
is not closed, but everything is
the agreement between myself and
we're getting ready to go to closing.
So we get ready to sign the paperwork.
Yes.
And the lenders now, it could have been a month of us negotiating.
Exactly.
And I thought everything was good.
And you went out and bought furniture, and now the deal is not going to happen.
So like how? Okay. Whew. So how much time? How much time do we have? Because here's what I'm thinking. Like the closing date is set on Friday. You mean to tell me I can't on Wednesday go buy my furniture so I can move in on Friday?
You better wait till Friday we close to go buy your furniture.
Wow.
You can go in and tell the furniture company that you're supposed to close on Friday, but ask them not to run your credit or anything until after you actually close, because you definitely don't want to take a chance of throwing throwing the deal. That furniture that I bought, what had happened was... no, that's not going to work.
You gotta take that back. I can't do that. I know I signed the contract, but you gotta take that back. So if something like that happens, what do you do? If somebody messed up like that, what do they do?
Really, it's nothing they can do.
So
you're stuck, because the lender is going to pull unless you have enough money where it's not going to hurt your debt to income ratio.
Right.
So it depends on your
income. So if it's a close call,
don't do it.
So in order to find out if it was a close call, we got to contact our lender.
You need to contact your lender.
Or because now, like I said, when I bought my house, I was at that top, because you and Wendy, y'all tricked me to buy this house that I'm glad I got right now. But see, I was at the top of that pre-qualifying. Like the pre-qualifier was at this number, and we were right there at it. So is it someone that was in a position like me that shouldn't buy anything, or is it somebody like that bought a house that they were pre-qualified for like 15, 20, 30, 40,000 more than what the house was?
It would be somebody that's kind of like close. Okay. You definitely don't want to take a chance, because if you take that chance, then you're going to chance yourself out of a house.
And Wendy got her birthday present.
That's exactly right.
The Clemens Law Firm was not established at that time when I bought that house. We were at the edge.
That's right.
Here's what I want to do real quick, because look, you gave us a lot of information, something that a lot of people don't know, because small things can really apparently keep you from getting a house, especially if you're at that edge. So this is what I want to do. I want you to give some information. If they want to get in contact with you, they want to buy a house. Do you also help sell houses as well?
I do.
So if you want to buy a house, you want to sell a house, what I want you to do right now is give the viewers your information, phone number, say it slow so we can get it, so they get in contact with you if they want to actually buy a house, or they want to sell a house, or anything of that nature.
Okay. Wilkins Realty Group, Tawanda Wilkins, 252-717-9678.
Say that thing one more time.
252.
Okay.
717-9678.
All right. Ms. Wilkins, we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us and giving us a lot of information. But look.
The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine?
Some lawyers care about the finer things in life.
You think you've seen the sun, but you ain't.
Some lawyers care about driving luxury cars, the prestige, the status.
Underway.
Some lawyers care about wearing designer clothes. Some lawyers care about dining in fancy restaurants. Some lawyers...
Right now? It's gonna be about 15 minutes. Don't say nothing till I get there. All right, I'm coming. Wait. All right, bye.
Some lawyers care about their wives.
come the day you're mine.
At Clemens Law Firm, we know that bad things happen to good people. And what we care about
I'm gonna
is
teach
you.
to fly.